This, and flat earth research, is why I am willing to get up 2 hours before sunrise, and drive an hour to get to Cape Enrage. It's March in New Brunswick, so I dress for winter, but stepping out of the car and being smacked by the -15 Celsius, and a bitter cold frigid wind made me wish I was still in my warm bed. Okay, just kidding, I'm a maritimer, I didn't really wish to be back in bed. It was still dark when I arrived, so I used that time to focus on lighthouses along the coastline. I won't bother showing you the video of the light. My wife found me a nice tripod in a second-hand shop. She got it for $8. I should have practiced using the tripod while it was light, because I could not keep the lighthouse light in frame. I'll do better next time. March 23, 2023, Cape Enrage, New Brunswick to Martin Head, New Brunswick, 21 miles away. Took me a second to realize there was mirroring. That aside, the dark seaweed-covered rocks above the line debunk curvature, as there should be 35 feet of alleged curvature blocking all those rocks. The 80-foot-high Martin Head, just 21 miles away, debunks curvature. Now let's look further down the New Brunswick coastline. Remember, on a ball Earth, more distance requires more curvature. The red line would be my line of sight from Cape Enrage, which is 36 miles away. This is the end of Pangburn Cliffs and it's only 200 feet high at this end. Looking 36 miles with my camera at 125 feet above sea level should have 330 feet of curvature. That's 130 feet of missing curvature. So we have 35 feet of missing curvature to Martin Head and 130 feet of missing curvature at 36 miles. I wonder if there is anything else showing that will help to disprove globe curvature. At 36 miles I can see there is refraction causing mirroring and compression. This means we may only be able to see the highest points. Everything else is refracted right out of view. That faded line is not a cloud over the water, it's land that's more than 300 feet high. Now we have Martin Head with 35 feet of missing curvature, also Pangburn Cliffs, 36 miles away, missing 130 feet of curvature, and now we have a land point more than 300 feet high and 37 miles away, which should have 360 feet of curvature. Let's keep going down the coast. That little bump is 43 miles away, and 400 feet high, behind Quaco Head Lighthouse. Earth curvature calculators say there should be 570 feet of curvature blocking any sign of a 400-foot hill. That's more than 170 feet of missing curvature. Those willing to research honestly learn we do not live on a 25,000-mile round planet in an infinite vacuum. Not an inch of curvature to be found, and over thousands of years of recording the stars, and not an inch of parallax. Seriously, you will never learn the truth about your reality, if you choose to just swallow the narrative. We have been indoctrinated from childhood. Yes, you too have been fooled your entire life. One thing is true, you will never learn the truth if you keep fighting it based on faith you have not been lied to your entire life. I do love making observations at long distances, but I also like to show people ball Earth can be debunked at much closer distances, like Apple River Lighthouse, just 10 miles away. The lighthouse base is 37 feet above sea level and the light is 35 feet high. The point the lighthouse is on goes far out into the water and is only visible at low tide. Between the dark seaweed-covered point and the land beyond it is Apple River. My eye level is 125 feet above sea level, which would not debunk curvature, from this eye level. I just wanted you to see it from this perspective so you have something to compare it to as I move down to lower elevations. Here is a Google Earth screen capture showing the area I was observing. First, I want to show you the lines going as far as 43 miles away without curvature. And then, I will show you what you will be seeing on this second observation, from the same location and eye level. By showing zero curvature to Quaco Hill, 43 miles away, it means it is level from my location to 43 miles away. And this means when I turn my camera 180 degrees there should be zero curvature to the same distances in that direction. That should make sense to you. Now let me show you. While I am still at 125 feet above sea level, let's look in the opposite direction, to see if there is anything that disproves curvature on that line of sight. The point on the left is Rockport, New Brunswick, 16 miles away. The point on the right is the Lower Cove, Nova Scotia area, and is 19 miles away. The wall between the 2 points is 25 miles away at the highest point. And the wind turbines beyond the wall are 30 miles away. The 2 red lines, coming from Cape Enrage, go 30 miles to the wind turbines. The lines go between the 2 points. The distance left to right is only a quarter mile between them. This tells us those points were going out hundreds of feet toward the center. Refraction is present in the form of mirroring, at the red line. The beach on the right is 18.7 miles away at Lower Cove, Nova Scotia. The top of beaches don't get higher than 25 feet above sea level. We see the beach and we see a little mirroring. That shows us the mirroring is only blocking a few feet or the beach would not be seen. There should be 16.7 feet of curvature to 18.7 miles, from a 125-foot eye level. That debunks curvature to 19 miles, almost as far as Martin Head, at 21 miles away behind me. Critical thinking says, if there is zero curvature to the beach 18.7 miles away, it's unlikely there will be any curvature 0.3 miles further. So both of the points debunked curvature, from a 125-foot eye level. Now let's talk about that wall. The highest point on that wall is 25 miles away. It's just a small spot but it's 100 feet high, plus 20-foot trees for a wall 120 feet high. Earth curvature calculators say, there should be 85 feet of alleged curvature, based on my 125-foot eye level, and a distance of 25 miles. The trees along the coast are about the same size. The trees in front of me here at Cape Enrage are about 20 feet tall. And they look 20 feet tall. Now when we look from Cape Enrage to the point on the left, the trees appear smaller due to angular size change over distance. The point on the right is 19 miles away, 3 miles further. Angular size over that distance makes those trees look a little smaller than those on at 16 miles. The trees on the wall are 25 miles away. So 11 miles further than the left point and 6 miles further than the point on the right. So those trees are barely visible at 24 miles. Angular size tells us that wall at 25 miles would appear smaller when it's actually almost 40 feet taller than the point on the left. And this means we see pretty much the entire 120-foot high wall. Again, debunking the required curvature for a ball 25,000 miles round. Now let's use some critical thinking, as we look at those 300-foot turbines 30 miles away. The high spot on this hill, including 20-foot trees, is 120 feet high at the white arrow on the left. Notice there is low spot in the land on the right at the white arrow. Let me put a line showing the difference in elevation. And a line at the low spot. The trees are about 20 feet, the distance between the yellow lines. Now I will copy the bar to see how many fit between the top of the yellow line to the bottom of the wall. It's a rough guess, but it shows 100 feet of wall visible. The mirroring at the level of the points could easily block 20 feet. So I feel I am very close with the values I showed you. We can see about 50 feet below the turbine, meaning we see down to 250 feet, from 30 miles away with a 125-foot eye level. Keep that in mind as I lower my elevation. I have now moved from 125 feet above sea level, to just 22 feet above sea level. Now we really see refraction at work. I lowered my perspective by 100 feet and we went from seeing 100% of the island to less than half. What's important for this observation is that we still see half the 80-foot high island, even though it is 100% blocked by 155 feet of curvature. Look to the left past Martin Head, and you can see almost the entire coastline is refracted out of view, due to mirroring, also known as an inferior mirage.
22 feet above sea level.
I can see Martin Head, from an eye level of 27 feet, however as I walk lower this point I am looking over will begin to block my view of the 80-foot high Martin Head. It took me a while to get down these frozen slippery and moving rocks, so I removed the audio and doubled the speed. I also have a really hard time, not stopping, to pick up pieces of driftwood and cool stones to add to my collection. I have lowered my eye level to about 20 feet above sea level. There should be 160 feet of curvature, which is double the height of the island, yet half of it is still visible and only blocked by refraction causing mirroring. Absolutely nothing to do with curvature. I am down at least another 5 feet, which calls for 176 feet of curvature. Now that point is blocking my view and I have decided to walk across the beach, climb the seaweed-covered rocks to get to the split. I want to show you it's only that point that is now blocking the island. Before I cross the beach and go through the split, let's look at that little lighthouse again. This time from more than 100 feet lower.
This sand is like quicksand. I'm going to get up on a rock. Can't squat down there. Let's see.
From 5 feet above sea level, looking 10 miles to Apple River Lighthouse, there should be 35 feet of alleged curvature. Note, the base of the lighthouse is at 37 feet above sea level, and the lighthouse is just 35 feet high. Just seeing land below the lighthouse debunks curvature. It's just that easy to destroy the curvature lie taught to us as children in public school.
No, not gonna do it. Let's try this.
Sorry, the beach is really wet, and I keep sinking in the wet sand, and losing my balance. And of course, today I have sneakers on, instead of waterproof boots.
There's no dry spot, and I'm sinking into the sand like quicksand. Frick. Maybe this end of this rock is wider, so let's try this.
Forgive me, I do most of my observations as soon as it's daylight, so I have the sun hitting at least one of my eyes and sometimes both. The lighthouse looks about the size of a grain of rice, so I struggle to find it.
There it is, wow. That's all I can do.
The red line marks the mirroring line. Everything above it is real and below it is an inverted image, also known as an inferior mirage. The yellow is the base of the lighthouse at 37 feet above sea level. The blue line is the light at 71 feet above sea level. The black line is where the 61 feet of curvature would be if it was real. Everything behind the white box would be blocked by a globe Earth 25,000 miles around, but it isn't. Please research flat Earth and get your mind back.
But I'm at sea level, and that's what's important. Just, oh. Now this tells you that this is still going downhill. All this is going downhill, or that water would already be in there. So as I squatted down, the view got less and less. Now I'm going to walk back to here and take another shot to show you the difference between that lighthouse, Apple River Lighthouse there, where I just was, and coming back up here to where sea level is. Sea level is way up at those rocks. And that's sea level right there. And that sand is. This is all further downhill here. And we see that the water is running downhill. Well, that looks really cool. Right there.
It amazes me to watch how patterns form, as the water flows downhill from the top of the beach and out to the bay.
For the back moment. Alright. 22-foot berm. Goes all the way across there, keeping the water away from the road, right there. And then it goes behind here. And there's a marsh that goes back, I don't know, goes back for a few miles. Protects it from being flooded by salt water. I'm going to go up here a bit to try to stay on dry sand, and I'll head over there.
That split is a pretty cool feature, but it's a tough walk up the rocks and over slippery seaweed, so I don't do this very often. So I'm at the split point across Pebble Beach from the lighthouse. See it here? Just breaking my neck here. Yeah, there's the lighthouse. Taking range. And let's see. And from here. See the mirroring, a lot of mirroring, but it's still there. So I'm going to walk this way. I had to walk across Pebble Beach to come up through the split here in order to be able to see Martin Head from here, because the point, this particular point I'm on right now, blocks the view from over there when I'm on Pebble Beach. The white line shows the direction my camera was pointing, in order to see Martin Head. I was on the 22-foot berm by the road with my camera at 15 feet above sea level. My perspective didn't allow me to see below 15 feet because the split point became too high to see over. From this side of the split point there are no obstacles blocking the island. The only thing stopping me from going down to sea level was the incoming tide. Getting to the split point can be grueling, especially when the seaweed-covered rocks are wet or frozen. For that reason I don't do this very often. And today my calf muscles are reminding me of that climb. I don't mean to sound upset or angry, I love the view from this side of the point, it's just exhausting. Here are a few photos from this side of the split point, just so you can see what I see where I live.
head over here. And I keep saying I'm going to do this quickly, but I have to walk on these rocks, and you can't always do that quickly when it's wet, because you break your freaking neck or your leg. Whoa, see, just like that. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go down here. Now I've already come down about 5 feet from where I was at the split right there.
What I am trying to show you is that it was only this point that was blocking me from seeing to the island from sea level. Notice the island is almost mirrored or refracted right out of view. It will disappear due to refraction, which has nothing to do with the programming we received, called curvature. I stopped too many times to pick up rocks, and by the time I got up the rocks and through the split it was too late. The tide was in too far for me to get to sea level there. I returned a day or two later and arrived in plenty of time to do the observation, grab a few more rocks, and get back out before the tide was in past the split, which allowed me to do another observation to Apple River Lighthouse from sea level. I need you to understand that the distances I have shown demand curvature, and I have shown zero curvature. What we are seeing is refraction causing mirroring that intensifies the lower my elevation gets. My eye level here is pretty close to sea level, if not below sea level. I am looking 10 miles to Apple River Lighthouse, with my camera at sea level. This means there should be 55.5 feet of curvature. The lighthouse base is 37 feet above sea level and the lighthouse tower is 30 feet high. 55.5 feet of curvature would block the lighthouse to the point we would only see the top 5 feet. Again, this shows curvature to be programming to hide the true shape of Earth, which is a level plane. Here is Apple River Lighthouse from sea level. Again, there should be 55.5 feet of curvature. From sea level to the top of the lighthouse is 71 feet, the base of the lighthouse is 37 feet above sea level. 71 feet from sea level minus 55.5 feet of alleged curvature would leave 16 feet of lighthouse visible, yet we can see right down to the base at 37 feet above sea level.
Now we can see mirroring now that's showing the bottom of the lighthouse.
I'm done here for today, and will now head over to Dennis Beach to check out All Out, 28 miles from the beach.
Okay, I'm at 80 feet above sea level. I'm going to go down the gorge because I can't walk down that hill. It drops off at 10 or 15 feet. Let's see how I do here. This is still frozen, but it's, whoa. I was going to say it looks all right, but it's still slippery. I'm going to, okay, gotta go a few feet more. I want to get my eye level at 80 feet here, right about here. Yeah, just below 80 feet.
With an 80-foot eye level, looking 28 miles, would have 193 feet of curvature, if we lived on a planet, like we were taught in public school. What we are seeing is refraction causing mirroring. This means the lower my perspective the more intense the inferior mirage will get. I keep saying it, but it needs repeating. Refraction causing mirroring has nothing to do with the fake globe model. Do your own research. Note: refraction is an optical effect, and has nothing to do with the fake globe model curvature we were all force-fed as children in public schools. All Out is 328 feet high in the center, the split is 25 feet deep, the right point is 250 feet. This shows that from the top of the island to the bottom of the split is 103 feet. We can use that data as a measuring tool to see how much island is visible or missing. I can't stress this point enough. This is all mirroring blocking these targets, as we can see by the rounded ends of the island. You can't see the sky reflecting under the island, it's an illusion caused by refraction. Again, it has absolutely zero to do with the programming called curvature, taught to us in public school. I was back here yesterday, after we had about 4 inches of snow. It was so much easier walking down the gorge. I won't have to deal with the ice for much longer. My eye level is now about 70 feet where there should be 210 feet of curvature. This means we should only be able to see just a few feet below the split, at 225 feet above sea level. If you visit flat earth channels only to laugh and mock, well, the joke's on you. You still believe you live on a spinning ball, yet have never once proven it on your own. All you can do is use other people's lies as your truth. Please take the time to try and prove your globe model, and by that I mean do your own research. It will show you your globe lacks curvature. Until you take the time to prove what you believe, you will remain a faith believer trolling truthers you can't debunk. And my friend, that's insanity. I am now at about 50 feet, which would have 249 feet of that alleged curvature. This means we would only see tree tops on the right side of the split at 250 feet above sea level. Look at the distance between where the curvature should be, at the red line, and where the inferior mirage begins at the black line. None of that space should be visible. The people frequenting our flat earth channels are people who have never actually proven what they believe. So they have to use other people's work as their truth and proof. Personally, I chose overwater observations to disprove curvature in my area of Earth. I have 5 years of researching flat Earth, and have yet to find signs of curvature. Now down to 40 feet above sea level where there should be 273 feet of curvature, which would now block both points on Alot. From the 328-foot high spot down to the 273 feet, leaves just 55 feet of the top of the island visible. Yet we still see well below that split with the bottom at 225 feet above sea level. The yellow line marks where refraction is causing mirroring, also known as an inferior mirage, and blocks all below it. The red line is showing where 273 feet of curvature should be blocking everything below it. The thing is, it doesn't, because curvature is indoctrination. Childhood programming through public school, designed to control your mind, your life, and to hide the one true God, our Creator. I increased the speed a bit, and removed the audio. It's still frozen, and the bottom section has trees growing that are making it hard to avoid stepping on ice. Let me mark the mirroring line. And the top of the island at 328 feet high. From 40 feet, looking 28 miles, there is 273 feet of curvature, at the yellow line. From the bottom of the split, at the blue line, to the top of the island is 103 feet. We should see nothing below the blue line. Yet we see well below the split. Think about what I am showing you. I am showing you there is zero curvature to be found. I am actually away from my computer, outside, proving what you believe is a lie, and sharing that with you. So are you going to keep believing, by faith alone, or are you willing to take the time to prove the globe you swallowed? I took the step to mental freedom, 5 years this month. When are you going to take the step? Quoting others you have never verified for truth is not truth, it's belief that you're not wrong. With a 25-foot eye level looking 28 miles, we should encounter 319 feet of curvature to the 328-foot high island. This leaves only 9 feet of island. Again, it is 103 feet to the bottom of the split. It is easy to debunk curvature over water, but our childhood indoctrination, along with constant programming, to reinforce the lifelong indoctrination, keeps most people from ever testing. It made faith believers out of us all. There is no globe, no curvature, just lies taught to children who have no critical thinking skills. It's indoctrination, and it's highly illegal. Don't be fooled, our government leaders know the truth. So 9 feet of island is all that should be visible. Not only do we see to the bottom of the split, showing we see at least 100 feet of island. But look closely, we still see island below the bottom of the split. We are seeing about 200 feet of the 328-foot high island. And again, none of this was due to curvature. It is all due to refraction creating inferior mirages. I am out of the gorge now, and stepping down to about 20 feet above sea level. The dry sand at the rocks is sea level, 20 feet lower than where I am now. The 328-foot high spot. Notice the bottom of the split, the line is just visible and tells us we still see 100 feet above that line. I am standing at 20 feet, looking at the 60-foot hill I usually walk down. I had to come down the gorge, because the bottom of this hill dropped off at about 20 or more feet up. I only moved down towards sea level by a few feet and we are losing the island to refraction. Refraction can ruin a great observation in just a few short minutes. The important thing is, at the base of the hill, we would have only been able to see treetops, if we truly lived on a ball. Now, I will speed up the video as I head down to sea level, where the sand starts. While I was at the base of the hill, I should have only been able to see tree tops at the 328-foot high spot. As soon as I started walking down to the beach, the island would no longer be visible. Yet, here it is still not being blocked by globe programming.
I'm kneeling on a rock, but right at sea level. But what I want to do is stand up. I want to show you something. People think that this is sea level, and it stays at sea level. It doesn't. It can be sea level. I'll just get across here before I get stuck behind water. Okay, so we can still see that. And I'm going to stay standing, and I'm going to walk. And as I'm walking, I am getting lower with every footstep.
Sorry, I find it most annoying that the wind keeps blowing out the mic when I zoom this P1000. If you know of a good external mic for the P1000, please let me know.
That's almost gone. There's 2 pieces when I started walking on the sand here.
The point I was trying to make, is that the beaches don't remain flat or level at sea level, they continue going downward. So as I walk further out, my camera and eye level are dropping, until I can be below sea level.
So this is going down. Even if it's only going down a few inches with every step, it's accumulating into the number of feet below sea level. My feet are below sea level, and I would think that my knees are too. Now, while talking and walking, I forgot, I can't see it now. Oh, no, it's on that bit. It's just, there it is, right there. No, maybe not. Thought I saw it. Yeah, right there. Just see it above the water.
Refraction, which is visible distortion in the form of an inferior mirage, and nothing to do with curvature programming, is blocking targets from the bottom up. The lower I moved my camera, the more intense the effect of refraction and the less we see of the targets we observe. Refraction is not curvature. Curvature is childhood indoctrination and cannot be proven. Yet as you just saw, lack of curvature is easily proven. In the 5 years I have been researching the shape of our Earth, I have encountered thousands of globe believers. By believers I mean people who believe the Earth is a spherical planet in an infinite, ever-expanding universe, orbiting a fireball sun, 93 million miles away, without ever once verifying this to be fact. These same people troll flat Earth channels telling us we are wrong, yet these people refuse to even try and prove their globe model. Pretty much daily, I have people coming to my channel, who believe the globe model so strongly, they feel it would be beneath them to try and prove it. And they want to show how smart they are. The thing is, these people are not smart, they are indoctrinated, so it's all in their head, without a shred of proof. Yet they won't stop babbling. If this is you, stop using other people's work as your globe proof. That's not your proof, it's just you believing it's truth because of your program. Take the time to prove the globe, put it on your channel and let me know when you're done, so we real truthers can school you. As a Christian I believe and do my best to prove, we live on biblical flat earth, created by the one and only God, our Creator and the Creator of earth, with a firmament above us. This is what search engines show is what we believe flat earth is. Of course we don't believe this. We don't believe in outer space, so how could we believe a flat earth with a dome is floating around in space? It's part of your programming. Make flat earth look ridiculous so faith believers in the globe model programming will laugh at the idea and mock flat earth, without ever trying to prove the globe, or for that matter debunk flat earth. This is childhood indoctrination, designed to keep you and I in the dark about our true reality. You can't prove the globe model, you can only believe. And you can't debunk flat earth, as you show by trolling us, while you have an empty channel, and by empty I mean you have zero personal proofs for the globe model. Refusing to prove the globe model, because you believe so strongly in it, isn't proof, it's faith. Faith that the entire population of Earth couldn't be fooled. Sadly you are wrong, the world has not been just fooled, they have been indoctrinated, as children, through public school. We have been programmed to believe a false reality, without question. If you're a globe believer you fall into this category. Now think about this. All the years you have been bombarded by all things heliocentrically related, which probably includes 12 years of public and high school. It also includes movies, TV, internet and social media platforms. If you weren't 100% convinced of the heliocentric model you most likely would not be coming to our channels without your own personal proofs for this reality you live daily. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Genesis 1:1. Read Genesis with an open mind. Think of it as research. This chapter tells us our creation story, and it's actually provable. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Now think about that heliocentric model, you cannot prove any of without using other people's works. My faith is in God, your faith is in man, and history shows us man is flawed and power hungry. People always want to control others. I started walking Dennis Beach, New Brunswick in 2014, after my son showed it. It was gorgeous. Fast forward to late 2017. I was watching Apollo 11 videos and asking why NASA faked the Apollo missions. I got a lot of responses that didn't satisfy me at all. Then, a 2-word comment, from Eric Dubé. It said, flat Earth, and had a link to 200 proofs for a non-spinning ball Earth. As a Christian, it made me think of Genesis, our creation story. So I watched his video. When I reached the section on Earth curvature calculators, this island came to mind, and life changed, almost overnight. I chose to look at flat Earth. I then chose to research flat Earth, all without laughing or mocking. I've shown you one morning of observations that show 0 signs of curvature, but a definite sign of the lack of curvature over a 70-mile stretch of water. I ask that God would impress upon you the importance of testing what you can, because we live in a world of deceit that goes from birth to the grave. God loves you, but gave you free will. It's your choice to remain programmed. Believing in flat Earth won't get you into heaven, but proving it may open your eyes to the Creator.